Any sane individual who receives an email from a stranger asking for money, usually from another country, usually involving some sort of Western Union bank transfer, deletes that email. You don't want to have anything to do with it. It's not for you. It's probably a lot of risk involved. However, some of us have been inspired by comedians like James Beach who reply to these spammers' emails and often have these very interesting back and forths. This happened to me recently and I had to share it. At 20 to 1 in the morning, I received an email. It said, "Your urgent response is needed." And this is what it said. "Hello, is this Darren? How are you? An ATM MasterCard worth $1.5 million is being under our custody for over some years with some attached documents which the UN government has finally approved to be released according to their beneficiaries in order to compensate scam victims. But there's no confirmation proof for the rightful beneficiary and we're yet to dispatch them according to their addresses with us. But before we can proceed with that, we will need these necessary below details as a proof. They need my name, a copy of my passport, ID card, cell phone numbers, occupation, home address." And just to note here, it's from the managing director, Reverend David Robinson. Pretty stereotypical scammy email, 1.5 million for me to earn, and just needing some of my details. But I love that this guy is a reverend. That's great. All right, this is what I responded. "I must congratulate you on what you're doing. The selflessness and patience on your end to hold on to that money without the devil taking hold of your actions takes great willpower. Well done. I must say, however, the necessity for you to send me an ATM card seems redundant. In this day and age of technology and fiber optic speeds of data transfer, let's utilize the tools we have available to us. I request that you electronically wire the money into my bank account so we can be done with this back and forth and allow the scam victims to live the life due to them. It would be a sin not to. Darren, we have no legal right to make any electronic transfer, neither having the right to access the ATM card in the first place. Our job is to deliver whatever we are asked to deliver safely." He is pretending to be DHL, the delivery or courier service in the States. And then he blabbers on and asks for my details once more. And then I replied, "Dear Reverend of DHL Courier Company, please know that I am not looking for a disagreement. I was merely suggesting a way for this to possibly be better managed. I appreciate that you would deal with these sorts of cases on a daily basis. In any event, no matter what the situation, I always like to refer to the Bible to assist in guiding my decisions. I refer to Psalm 31. In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Bow down thine ear to me. Deliver me speedily." Trust, righteousness, speed. Let's get this ATM card delivered and help the scam victims ASAP. I've CC'd my assistant into this email who'll be able to provide you with all the necessary information that you require. Yours faithfully, Darren. Now obviously I'm a YouTuber who makes videos from his kitchen, so I don't have an assistant, but I did make an email address called thebestestassistant@gmail.com, and he helped me out with this. "Hello, I'm Darren's assistant. You want some information apparently. What is it you want? From Andy." The Reverend replied, "Here are the information I need from Darren." Now this back and forth had gone on for a couple of days, and as funny as it was, I got shit to do. But I do enjoy a good troll, and I was curious to see how far I could push this. So my assistant replied, "Hello dear. My name is Andy Anderson. I'm not old enough for a passport ID card yet, but I hope this is okay. I've attached it to the email. I don't have a cell phone yet either because mom says I can't be trusted with it. I googled what occupation means, and if I understand right, I am Darren's assistant, in brackets, the best one. I'm not sure if I should give you home address yet. We'll ask Darren, okay? From Andy." After sending that, I thought maybe this is a little bit too silly, so I jumped in with my personal email saying, "Going to jump in here. Andy's still new and is learning how to communicate via email appropriately. My apologies, Reverend, he's only 9. I've attached a copy of my ID. My internet, in brackets, screen name is Darren, but my real name is on the ID. You can find all the information that you have requested on the ID too. You may record my occupation as student of God because, aren't we all? Let me know if you need anything else. Bless up, McLovin." And as ridiculous as this is, he replied, "Why do you allow Andy to be replying your email? And what for? Okay, we got your details, but your cell phone number was not found among the details, and your cell phone number is very essential to us for immediate information. So that once the ATM MasterCard is in pretty much he, it's almost unreadable, but he wants my cell phone number. Reverend, I understand that you're managing director of DHL, but Andy has just started out as my assistant and is doing his best. I would appreciate your understanding as we all have to start somewhere. I'm sure you can relate. Once upon a time, you would have been an altar boy too. My apologies on forgetting the phone number. It's 808-692-6627. I've had this number for years now, but I found out the other day that it also spells 808 my boobs. What a laugh. I await your further instructions. Another one, McLovin. Okay, no problem. I got your number and I'll keep you posted once your detail confirmation has been approved. So I said thank you. Hello, Mr. McLovin. Your details are being confirmed, but due to the document attached to the ATM MasterCard worth 1.5 million US, we noticed you haven't adhered with the courier delivery fee yet, which cost $570, and that's an obligation fee, which you must need to comply with before completing the delivery process. So pretty much, he wants $570 to release the funds, and I don't have that money up front, but he's about to give me 1.5 million, so maybe we can... Hey Mr. Reverend, a $570 release fee to access 1.5 million? Mathematics was never my strong point, but this seems like a no-brainer to me. I'm rather euphoric right now to think of how many people I can help with that money. You've conducted yourself in such a professional manner throughout all of this that I want to give back a little. Once the funds have been released, I want you to keep 100K in cash. We don't need the UN government taking a cut of this. I'd love to have a few brewskis with you in celebration. What do you say? You keen to share some Bible tales with the wildest G in Australia? Oh, who am I? I've had a chat to my assistant Andy, and he's told me that he feels comfortable to give you the required details to process the $570 release fee you've requested. Over to you, Andy. Major key alert, McLovin. I love Andy. Hi there, Reverend. If you could be so kind to give me your bank details, I can give you some money for my dad to be rich. I have his information ready to give you. Yours sincerely, Andy. So the Reverend gives me the details for the $570 delivery fee. It's going to Laurie Cardwell in Oklahoma. He says, make sure you get back to us by attaching the delivery fee payment slip. Thank you very much for appreciating and hoping to compensate me with the sum of $100,000. And I will be very glad if God can direct your heart by fulfilling your promise. Hey Rev, it's okay to call you Rev. Quick question, why is the name Laurie Cardwell? The person that I send the money to. Do you know Laurie? She seems nice and all, but I have to make sure I'm sending the money to the right place because last time I sent $4,000 to the wrong person and Dad got mad. Okay, bye. Yes, that's the name, and make sure you're careful when writing the name so you don't miss any letters, okay? I repeat myself again by resenting the payment details. Laurie Cardwell. Rev, I'm on the bus leaving the bank. I had a problem because the name you gave me is wrong and the lady at the bank said it is bouncing back. You need to look at your account because there's no person called Laurie Cardwell. Now I'm late for school, please be more careful. Why did you make such a mistake after I repeated myself and you still went ahead and called it Lauren instead of calling it Laurie? Laurie is the right spelling, not Lauren. I-E, not E-N. And he went on to have a go at Andy, and I didn't appreciate it because Andy's 9 years old and he's doing his best. Rev, I did it on accident and you aren't being very nice. I'm trying hard to be a good assistant for Dad. Anyway, I'm at school and I don't want to talk to you unless you say sorry. Andy. P.S. Just because I'm young doesn't mean I'm stupid. I think the Reverend was getting a bit fed up, so he emailed me and he pretty much just said, I can't understand what's going on. I've given you all the details, just tell your assistant to send it to me. But then he emailed Andy personally and he said this, piece of shit. Sorry about what? Do you think you're sending the money for me is for your benefit and personal decision? Take note, the process you delay, that's when it becomes difficult because you're not the only person we're attending to and we attend to people alphabetically. So once we are through with your alphabet without conclusion, it will take more process to rebound. Reverend's pissed. So I needed to mediate this because the Reverend was being a dick, and this is what I said. Hi Reverend, I spoke to Andy after he got home from school today and have gotten his side of the story. I need to tell you something about my family. We were born into captivity. What I mean by this is my mother and father fell into the baboon enclosure at the zoo and the rangers deemed it too unsafe to save them, so they birthed me there, and up until I was 14, we lived with the baboons and didn't have primary education. We had to associate and live with the primates. At the age of 14, I broke out of the enclosure and left my family at the zoo. I made a life for myself with only one North Star, the Lord. He guided me and made me the man I am today. Because my family is still at the zoo, I don't have them for support. I only have my own family, and Andy is an only child. He means more to me than any amount of money. I need you to understand that you've reached out to me and offered me a great sum of money, and as much as I appreciate this, my life was rich without it. Andy's very upset from your emails, and I will not go back and forth and mediate yours and his communications. Should you wish to organize payment to you, you'll need to make peace with him. From what I understand, all he wants is an apology. May the faith guide you. Secure the bag, McLovin. So just to recap, I was born in a baboon enclosure and broke out when I was 14. And then he replied. In an email subjected, Andy, accept my apology, the Reverend emailed me, not Andy, and said, okay, if he said so that I offended him or sounded rude, am sorry, and he should also forgive me and accept my apology. I'm just a disciplined person, and I can't keep the money to myself because I have no legal right to access it. So am sorry and wouldn't want to be that person that made you not receive your ATM MasterCard. So I emailed the Reverend and I said, hi Reverend, I believe it takes great courage to repent as you've done. I appreciate it immensely, and I'm sure Andy will too. You will need to email him directly though. I do not want to be the middleman. I hope you understand. DJ Khaled. A bit of time passed and I guess that was it. I was like, well, we had fun. I pushed it as far as I could, and at the end of the day, I guess the Reverend's ego got in the way of apologizing for $570. But then he replied, Andy, did you tell your dad I made you felt bad with my message? How come? If so, forgive me, because no one is perfect. But if that's the reason why you refuse to help your dad to send the fee, hope you know you're not sending the money to me, only for your dad's benefit. And I still need to remind you that we attend to beneficiaries alphabetically. So I will advise you need to act fast because we are about moving to the next alphabet. Hello. Yes, I did. You were not very nice, and I don't understand this, because if everyone was nice, the world would be good. Thank you for saying sorry, I forgive you. We have a problem because my friend Johnny is coming over later and we're going to play Fortnite, so I can't go to the bank today. Then it is the weekend, and then the bank isn't open. This is all really too much trouble. Why don't you pay the money, and then you will get it back from Dad when he gives you the $100,000 when you have a beer with him. I have a brother who is a baboon, but one time I dreamed he could talk and he was saying, always work hard, not smart. It is such a clever saying. I think you are being silly. Yours sincerely, Andy. But then I kind of panicked because I realized I just made a hole in my story because it was myself who had a baboon brother, not Andy, who's my child. And this is a crucial hole in the story, so I really hope that the Reverend doesn't catch on. Okay, I read your email and fully understood you, but am still reminding you that you'll need to go to a Western Union or MoneyGram to send the money and not a bank. Hope the names are clear to you now. Best regards, Reverend Robertson. So this whole back and forth went on for about 2-ish weeks, and it had gone on for long enough, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna put an end to this, and I did. Hi Rev, here is a picture of my uncle.